Hey everyone, and welcome to another peek into my makeup kit. I'm Sue Louise. I've been a freelance professional makeup artist for almost 20 years now. And in that time, I've seen a lot of different trends come and go, a lot of different technology, and indeed brush technology itself has changed a little bit. And it's one of the questions I do see quite often: what are the best makeup brushes? Now, a lot of people will go out and they will buy a kit with 15, 20, 25 or more brushes in there. And I've done that once or twice as well. But what I've found when I've done that is generally I'll only use several of the brushes. I won't use them all. And there'll be some that'll just sit in there and it's kind of a waste really. So what I've taken to doing now is trying different brushes. And when I find a brush that I like, I buy it in multiples. Now, in this day and age, obviously with COVID-19 and everything, it's really important that we're not reusing the same brushes. So back before COVID, I would have all of my brushes in a brush holder at the front of my station, and I just pull out brushes as I need them. But with the new regulations, well, at least particularly here in Queensland where I'm working, it's now important that we keep everything closed up until we're about to use it. So what I'm doing now is I have created for each client a little brush pouch. Well, I haven't created the pouches. I bought the pouches, and I actually bought these in Officeworks. So they're just pencil cases, and I like them because they're pink and they're glittery. And I just have enough brushes in here for each client. So what I'm going to do today is just run through some of my favorite brushes and why I love them so much. So, as I said, I keep enough brushes in here for each client, and that way I can just open them up when I'm about to start working with that client, and I'll take the brushes out of the little pouch and I put them into a regular brush canister. Now, it used to be that I would use this and put the dirty brushes in there and then spot clean some of those brushes before I would use them again. But now what I do is I will put the clean brushes into one, and as I use them, I put them into the other one. And at the end of that client, I will wrap all those brushes up and put them away to be taken home and washed. So let's say, for example, I'm doing a wedding. Rather than putting them all in one bag and taking them home, I'll wrap them up and I'll put them back in each person's little pouch. That way I can label on the pouch, I can attach a label to the zip or just put a sticky note or a piece of tape or something on there so I know whose brushes are in there. And when I come back to do touch-ups, I can use the correct person's brushes. Right, so let's have a look at what are the different brushes and what I use them for. I'm one of those makeup artists that likes to do eyes first before face. So I always start off with the eyes, and the brush that I use first for doing eyes is I'll lay down an eye base. So my favorite brush for eye base is quite a dense synthetic brush. And this one's from Crown Brush. It's the SS011 Oval. So what I'll do is I'll list all of the brushes down below in the description of this video. Now, I'm not getting any payment for recommending any of these brushes. These are ones that I've purchased myself. And as I say, I purchase multiples because I like them so much. So this is a synthetic brush, and it's just quite a dense fiber brush there. Really nice just to apply an eye base, so an eye primer, something like a MAC paint pot, or even just a concealer on the eyelid. Then when it comes to eyeshadow, I'll use several different eyeshadow brushes. And this is where I think that I've really changed in the brushes that I've used. I used to use a lot more flat brushes, and now I use a lot more fluffy brushes. So I've got a variety of brushes that I'll use there. So several different ones there, and these are from Crown and Designer Makeup Tools, these brushes here. So I like to start off with one that's quite dense, and then I will obviously use quite a fluffy blending brush. This one's a really great blending brush just to blend out that eyeshadow, particularly in the crease, to make sure there's no sharp edges. When I do want to create more of an edge, I don't really do cut crease, but if I ever need to do that, or lining underneath the eye, I'll use something that is quite a flat brush and quite a small brush. Then I will come on to doing the face, and I always apply my foundation with a flat foundation brush. There are so many different ones out there. I like one that is not too stiff. This one is a Crown SS001. And then I always like to buff out my foundation, and this is probably my all-time favorite brush. And anybody that has ever worked with me or knows much about me and my work, you'll know I rave about this brush all the time, and it is the Designer Makeup Tools 418 VP. So this is a synthetic brush as well, a vegan brush, and I love this one just to buff out the foundation into the skin. When we're talking about powder on the face, whether that be powder, highlight, blush, contour, I use a couple of different brushes. So I like to have a couple, and I generally like to have a black one and a white one. I don't know why. No particular reason, but I do like to carry two powder brushes. So I've got one of these is from Crown and one of these is from Designer Makeup Tools. These are natural hair brushes, and they're just kind of quite nice and soft. I always like to have one that is a little bit more soft and fluffy, so I might use that one for blush and maybe highlighter, whereas the one that is a little bit more dense, I might use that one for contouring. Then when we go into brows, I actually only have one of these brushes, and I really would love to pick up some more. This is from Bedelium Tools, and I picked this one up last time I was in the States. It's a Bedelium Tools 764, and it's a really quite a stiff, I think it's a boar bristle brush, and I find this one really great for applying powder into the brows, so I really love that one. Then obviously a brow brush. I always like to have a brow brush, and I like to use one with plastic. Some people like the metal combs. I actually prefer the plastic combs. I do always carry another concealer brush. This one is a little bit softer and fluffier. This one is a Designer Makeup Tools, and I think it's called a Vegan Fluff. I can't remember the number of it. I'll pop that in there. For the under eye area and powdering under the eye, I do like something that's fairly soft and fluffy. This one I love. It's from Makeup Weapons. This was a brush set that was designed by a Brisbane makeup artist, and this is the 1.14. This is a really nice one. These are all vegan, these brushes as well, all synthetic. And lastly, I have my eyeliner brush, and this is probably one of the only brushes that I've paid a significant amount of money for. This is a MAC 209. It's the only MAC brush that I do own. It's just a really nice pointed liner brush. And I know some people like to use an angled liner brush. I actually prefer to use a pointed one. Some people also used to like to use one which has the bend and the ferrule. I'm just a fan of just the straight pointed liner brush. So that's it. You might be wondering what I do for lips. I used to use lip brushes back in the day. I have moved to using lip applicators now. And what I found with those sponge tip lip applicators is they are also really good for applying lip liner. So I usually just stick the end of those in the pencil and apply my lip liner with the edge of that disposable lip applicator, and then I'll obviously use that for lipstick or gloss as well. Obviously, I'm trying to reduce the use of single-use plastic, so I love to get my disposables from somewhere where they have bamboo handles, so somewhere like Eco Beauty Tools, and I'll link them down below in the description as well. If you want your brushes to last a long time, and they will, your brushes will last, they can last a lifetime if you look after them really well. I do have a couple of brushes in my kit that I've had since I very first started out, so you know, that's going on almost 20 years now. And if you take good care of your brushes, washing them regularly, obviously you want to be washing your brushes after every client, but if they're your personal brushes, washing them regularly as well, and just allowing them to air dry lying down. And then obviously a quick spray over with some 70% isopropyl alcohol afterwards, or brush cleaner, just to sanitize them fully. So if you've enjoyed this video, I would love it if you would give me a thumbs up and consider subscribing to my channel. Don't forget to ring the bell so that you'll be notified next time I upload a video. Thanks for watching, and bye for now.